This is video 3, the update of the E46 M3 convertible with the heavily cracked floor. We've cleaned the undersill and the paint off from a previous repair. This is looking at the left rear mount and showing the extent of the crack, pretty much similar to what we saw in the previous video 1 and 2, but you can now clearly see the repair that's been made. A repair panel, not one that you can buy, it seems to be made, and that's covered the cracks which normally appear in this section here, so that's done its job fine. That's actually held out, so that does a lot to say for reinforcement plates. That's fine. Why this one seems to have failed, also you notice that a weld repair has been done up across the vertical section above us. The horizontal section directly above us, and around the spring perch here. But why this one seems to have failed, basically it shouldn't have been repaired really, because if you've got a crack in this section up here and around the spring perch, that's too far gone really. You can deal with hairline cracks here, but nothing else. This one's failed because the panel itself, which is spot welded to the wheel arch liner, all the way around there, they have problems with the spot welds on the wheel arch liner where the connection piece is as well. Here there's only 3 spot welds in this section, which is about 10 inches long, and they've basically popped. You see one just there and another one up there, and that's obviously allowed that whole rear corner of the rear axle carrier panel to drop, and once one spot weld pops, obviously the next one along has to carry more load. That pops, and eventually they can't hold themselves, and that's why they drop off. You see more spot welds popped there, and it's just completely let go. There's only one spot weld now holding that section on that one there, and it's just started to crack. So that's the left rear, all cleaned up and showing you the issue and how far this damage has travelled. Quite extensive really. Small spot welds popped there. And then if we move over to the central section, this is the convertible, so where the convertible rear bulkhead is spot welded to the floor, all those have popped along the top directly above our heads, and then we're making our way to the right rear mount now. And this one's also had a weld repair here where they sometimes crack, but it's not contained it because there's another hairline crack coming from the bottom side of the weld, and then also the panel itself is the problem on this side, because again you've got the crack in directly above the mount on the floor, more spot welds crack in, and then the problem stems from the panel itself only being spot welded and very slightly stitch welded to the chassis, to the wheel arch, inner wheel arch. You see it's cracked and let go all the way across here and up towards the spring perch. It's opened up, and the same all the way around the back of the panel. That straight line there, it's not a coincidence that it's a complete straight cut where it's dropped. That is the end of the panel. And the end of the panel is spot welded in a few sections there, which have all dropped. There's one hanging on for dear life there, and just a small stitch weld just there, because this piece is the hollow chassis leg, and you won't be able to get a spot welding machine on the other side. So they stitch weld that, and then spot weld the rest of them. But as you can see, they've all popped. So they haven't been able to carry the weight, which is why they've popped. Right front mount now, this is the other problematic area. Again, a plate has been welded, and also the pin has been welded, or the stud should I say, the stud has been welded directly to the floor. The welds seem okay, they've held up well, they're fine, there's no problem there. Again, it says a lot for the plating and reinforcement method, because that is held up. It's the panel itself which is given way in this case. This is looking directly above, and there's a tiny one just starting across there. And again, looking up across the central section, all the spot welds have popped, and that's because the panel's dropped. and all the way around, and they're just about to start joining very closely. So yeah, we're going to start drilling some spot welds out now and start removing the floor. Update on the floor, so we've got the spot welds drilled out now across the back edge, so just these which are connected to the boot floor itself, and the last two little ones that were, well, one that was holding on the vertical section, and also on the right side of the car. Focus. Yeah, we continued that along the boot floor, and the last one that was holding on vertical, and there was two in the corner, two in the wheel arch liner, wheel arch area, and then a couple of welds which had already broken off, so we didn't have to do much for that entire rear end section to come away quite easy. And this is a hand movement now. So you see how flimsy this panel is. So yeah, the only things that were holding that panel back on were the spot welds going around the boot floor section, and also the a section of metal between the two top rear mounts. Got a big crack there starting to head central, and another crack starting to head central, and that's the only section there that was intact and stopping this moving about like I've just shown you. So we're going to go down the sides now and then start on the front spot welds. Next update on the floor. Majority of the spot welds have been taken out now, all the way across the side. Some of that had already fallen down and been broken, like the welds there had already split even, and a cracked section up there which helped the floor come out anyway. We find it easier to take the spring turret section out, so if you've ever wondered what looks like internally above the spring turret, then that's what it does. We take them out on both sides. That just gives the floor a lot more flex and helps when removing it. So all the spot welds have been taken out along the side. You can see the undersill's been cleaned up, and these spot welds have been taken out, and obviously the new panel will go in place of this, and then the wheel arch panel will be dressed back and shaped, not only spot welded but also stitch welded. And we're not taking the full panel off with the trailing arm mounts, we're taking them off on a join. So that's why we're opening it up just here, just to take it off. So all the floor section across the front has been undone. That's a selection of spot welds and stitch welds. So spot welds obviously get drilled out, and the stitch welds get ground down until there's nothing left. And that is somebody's previous repair of the offside front mount. So yeah, this floor is really flimsy now. There's not much left of this, so we've just got a couple more across the front, and then it'll be coming down completely.